Um, they always say that reps is important, that just recording videos and just uploading them is really crucial to learning how to do this YouTube thing. Um, it still feels so weird to be talking to a camera. Um, Probably will be weirder putting out up on the internet and just letting it exist out there. I think the biggest struggle that I've had is whether or not I'm even interesting enough to post a video about anything. Do I know enough to even post anything? Uh, does anybody care? Um, and I guess that's really not up to me. Um, that was my hesitation. That's what held me back for the last, I don't know how many years. But I'm realizing that the only thing I can help is my effort and what I put into things. I can't help how other people perceive me or what other people care about. I think in the end, making videos is such a weird kind of outlet for so many people. Um, Weird in the sense that, uh, you know, intentionally speaking to a camera, looking at the camera eye to eye, and speaking to an audience that may or may not exist. I mean, um, it's just a crazy idea. But who knows? I mean, whether you clicked on this video because you thought it'd be funny to watch, whether you clicked on this video because you know who I am and you're out here trying to support me. First off, thank you for even clicking on this video. I've been told over and over again by all of these different, people on YouTube talking about how to start a YouTube that, your first some odd videos are going to suck. And I just want to get that out of the way now. I just want to be done, over with it. I want to get over this hump of, can I even do this? Is it even possible? Um, I mean, I even went as far as to buy the DJI Osmo Nano as like a reduction of barriers to help me um, think about nothing else but just hitting record and making a video and then just uploading it. Um, so yeah, it's a crazy and scary thought, and I am definitely way too old to be having this level of worry or anxiety about this. In reality, I'm not a very anxious person. I really don't. I really do care about what people think about me, which is probably why I've hesitated for so long to even record myself or do anything like that. But I think in the end, like, there's just this lingering, like, what happens if I try? What's the worst that could happen? Um, you know, the worst that could happen is nobody watches these videos, and I try this out for the next year, and it just fizzles out. And what I get out of it is a great learning experience. I understand myself a little bit better and the things that I can do and the endeavors that I can pursue. Um, and honestly, like it tells me whether or not like I am fit to be a content creator. Um, because I look at content creators and I'm in awe and amazement at how they even come up with some of the ideas that they do. And I'm like, can I even be that creative? And realistically speaking, like it almost feels fake when I try to um, create ideas and plan them out and sketch them out for myself, because I'm like this is not me. But I'll give it a try. I think even recording this, I'm gonna have a really hard time editing this, and future me editing this, please do not cringe too hard at the footage. But I think in the end, like, and I really got to stop saying in the end. I think it's just a matter of doing. Um, and the way that I've been trying to change my focus and my mentality over the past couple of years now has been to be intentional with my efforts, my time, my energy, um, to know what I am pursuing and to pursue that instead of being distracted by all the different shiny objects. Um, I know, like, deep down inside, rooted in me is this ADHD of, like, being unable to sit still and stand still, and having to involve myself in a million different things. Um, so, combating burnout, kind of video diarying it, captain's logging it, if you may, here on YouTube, I think will help me to assess and prioritize and figure out what really matters and what's truly important. Um, and so, yeah, I want to say that I have a pretty good handle on that. I want to say that I have a pretty good handle on the highest priorities of my life. It's easy to say that out loud to an audience that may not know anything about me, and definitely don't know how I move on a daily basis. But I don't think it's a matter of setting my highest priorities straight. I think it's demonstrating how important those things are through my actions and what I do on a daily basis. If family is really important to me, that means spending a lot of time with them and putting everything else down and aside to be with them. If it's reading the Bible more, it's setting aside time every single morning in order to do so, and telling myself this is 10 minutes of my day, like, let's just get through it. You know, pushing myself through some of those mental barriers of not wanting to. And I think the biggest one for me, and the thing that the main reason why I said, screw it, let's just start a YouTube channel, is I want to scroll less. I want to be on YouTube watching content less, which is ironic because I'm doing that by putting content on YouTube. But I think, yeah, it's just doing things like that that has changed and shifted the way I look at my hobbies and the things I'm interested in and the things that are important to me. And so I think the highest priorities are straight. It's just a lot of these hobbies and side gigs and side interests that I'm trying to balance and trying to figure out, like, what's really important to me and what I need to focus on. Whenever I introduce myself to new people, maybe this is kind of like an intro. Whenever I introduce myself to new people, I always say that I am a jack of all trades, master of none. I know a little bit about many things, but not many things about a few. I don't know if that even makes sense, but all that to say, like, the only thing that I've ever really specialized in is my job. And it's because I am super niche down in my career, in my work, and am very content with where I am there. And so that being the exception, I think the goal I set for myself through this channel and through posting on YouTube at all is to prove to myself, hey, if I focus and really excruciate, I can actually be a master at some of these hobbies. I can actually, go to completion with some of the games that I've wanted to play, or I can really, lock in on my knowledge of sports and sports teams, or things like that. It's selfish, extremely selfish, but I want to prove to myself that I can be a master of things. That if I really set my mind to it, I I, I can master them. Um, does that mean, like, the part of my hesitancy of even starting up a YouTube channel is because I don't feel that way with recording content and doing all of that. And honestly, like, the imposter syndrome really starts to creep in, especially at my job. And so I don't know what'll happen. I'm nervous and I'm scared. But I think the need and desire to find out what I am capable of has has grown too strong now, and my ability to get started now is too easy. And so, yeah, we'll see how this goes. This felt a lot more natural, although I was all over the place. Probably my thoughts were everywhere. I think that's part of doing these reps is like figuring out how to speak on topic and staying on topic. Who knows? Maybe I'm just not that kind of person, but this felt a lot more natural. We'll see how things pan out, how things turn out. The only thing I have to remind myself of is the one thing I can control is my own effort. And the only thing I can control here on this YouTube thing is how often do I upload, how consistent am I, how committed am I to it, and yeah, I and prove to myself that I can do it, that I can be consistent, that I can stay on top of this, that even in moments and times where I don't have the enthusiasm to record, I can do it. Um, so this is, to me, trying to become a better person in the way, in my will, my discipline, my determination, and my perseverance, with tasks that seemingly have no end. Because I think that's the hardest. Those are the hardest things to be disciplined in. So YouTube, just one of those things. I've got to latch on and take that mentality this year that committing to this means being consistent and showing up on days that I don't want to show up. So, yeah, rep number one done. I guess I'm late for a meeting. I got to jump on. Peace.